All right. Welcome back to the show. We're starting front page review with The Nation. Major headline. El Rufai, Wike, Oyetola, Alake, Fagbemi make ministerial list. Edun and others are also nominated by the president. APC NEC may okay Ganduje Basiru for August 3rd. Why we reject threats to democracy in Niger Republic, says Tinubu. Restore constitutional order, says ECOWAS, UN, AU, US, and EU. 5,000 illegal buildings demolished in Abuja. Resident doctors begin strike. And another strike. Give more time from the president, says Labour. No. Give more time, president tells Labour. We have another story. Federal universities remain tuition-free, says presidency. And American proposes marriage to Chibok girls in the USA. There's another story that is important. It's a follow-up. The DSS investigates scuffle in court over Emefiele. So what story are we starting with, YK?
They have both stories I took, so I'll leave them to take them.
Okay, so so I would like to begin with this happy story. SKP Chibok schoolgirl engaged to an American. So it feels so good to learn that a good story, a happy ending is coming out of the predicament of one of the schoolgirls that was kidnapped. So her name is Joy Bishara. And on a Facebook post shared by a certain Utumo palm tree in the Busi, Bishara was one of the kidnapped schoolgirls that escaped after Boko Haram invaded their school. And then she's now engaged to her lover in the US. So she was one of the girls that she escaped with her cousin. She was one of the ones that jumped, the fence.
Okay.
Exactly, and relocated to the US immediately. And she finished from the university, a university in the US in 2021, and now she's happily engaged to be married. So happy, that's a really happy ending, and I'm excited about it.
One.
And we are hoping and praying that the remaining girls are found alive and they return into our society as good citizens and individuals.
I have the DSS, so this is an update on the scuffle, as they described it, that happened between the DSS and the officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service. We have a spokesperson of the service, Dr. Peter Afunaya. In a statement, he described the incident as unfortunate, saying the DSS was a professional organization. But he says, for emphasis, the DSS has not broken any laws in handling the Emefiele case, despite efforts by some elements to skew the narratives to the contrary. He said that while noting that the personnel from both agencies exhibited undue overzealousness, the service has further initiated detailed investigations into the matter. So they're saying that they acknowledge the way that the officers conducted themselves was unprofessional, but by rearresting Emefiele was not against the law. They did not do anything legally wrong, and they would like for us to know that. But of course, we know a lot of people gave their opinion on how they feel on how the DSS acted. We had the NBA Vice President, Mr. Monde Oyekachi Ubani, who in a statement said the DSS had a penchant and impunity in disobeying court orders, need the bold condemnation of the Nigerian Bar Association to nip their contempt for the rule of law in the bud. And so many other stakeholders, spoke against their behavior yesterday.
Sorry, I was just going to add something to what Miriam said, because I was listening to Journalist Hangout, and apparently, according to Jide Otitoju, he said that the DSS took him to the court,
Okay.
and they were wondering why the prison officials were there. Did they already know what the judge was going to say? Was it a planned thing? Are they trying to help him escape? That is why the DSS reacted like
The way
that.
they did.
Unprofessionally, though.
Yeah.
I agree that they were totally unprofessional. Right. I agree that there was no cause for... They could have even raised that alarm to the judge.
Yeah.
Who
I
they
was
say...
surprised why is the prison customs, prison
And they are
correctional
aware of the
service
judgment
here.
before the judgment was
Yeah.
made.
And it wasn't like he left from there. He didn't go
It was
from
the
there.
DSS that took him
Yeah,
there.
so why were
normally
they
it's the
there?
DSS supposed to take him back, according to what
Anyway,
you said.
we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the front pages of the paper, and right now we're going to move to The Nation. Punch. Major headline: Tinubu pleads for more time. NLC issues strike notice. Niger's president supporters protest. AU ECOWAS condemn coup plot. Mass burial. NSAS coalition demand DNA mapping and compensation. Daredevil daylight robbers return to Lagos streets. Musa, why I sell fuel at 580 naira per litre. National Assembly to unveil ministerial list today. That's from Akpabio's aide. IPOB, Senate to work for ECPA's extradition and kills pro-Kanu motion. APC crisis deepens as Lukman resigns, blames president. And obviously the picture of the State House with the president. What story are we going to be starting with?
So there's an attempted coup that's underway, or that was underway on Wednesday in Niger Republic. They say members of the Presidential Guard detained the president, Mohamed Bazoum, and triggered off a standoff with the army. So they, as we know, the Presidential Guard, this is like his most trusted aides.
Major compromise.
Yeah, so it seems like there's a compromise. They detained him, and when his supporters heard about him, they tried to gain access, to the president's residence and his offices, and they stopped supporters from getting there. In fact, one person was injured, although they cannot say as of now if he was shot or he just fell in the crowd. The army has given them an ultimatum, and we've heard also from different organizations. We've heard from the AU. The AU chair says has accused them of acting in total betrayal of their Republican duty, and also to immediately cease these unacceptable actions. Okay, that's to the soldiers, and return to their barracks. ECOWAS, as we know, our president is the head of ECOWAS recently, and they said he made such a very strong stance. He says that we would use all means necessary to restore constitutional order in Niger. But they're hoping that the situation can be settled in peace and harmony between brothers, because what has been done is unacceptable.
You have a story?
Yes, I have a story. That's the mass burial. NSAS coalition demands DNA mapping compensation. So on the 19th of July, there was a leaked memo from the state government, and it said that it actually instructed, the agency to plan for the mass burial for 103 corpses. And this group, called the Coalition of NSAS protesters, are demanding that the Lagos State government should conduct a DNA mapping on all the 103 corpses, and they should provide therapy for the trauma they have caused families over the last 3 years. However, the state government has maintained that the 103 corpses that are to be buried did not come from the
Lekki Tollgate.
The Lekki Tollgate. Instead, there were corpses that were picked up as a result of the violence that ensued. But there's still that scuttle, and because of the mistrust that a lot of Lagosians and Nigerians have for their leaders, they are not buying the story of. They're not taking that position of the state government. So, but the state government has reacted, however, that they would continue. They'll still proceed with the mass burial, and then it will be done professionally, and nobody can stop them.
Yeah. And I remember that reading in the papers that the process with which each of the burial would take place, even though it's a mass burial, it will still be able to identify each person if, for any reason, family comes back to say they want to claim a body. There was a story that caught my attention in the Punch. It was a story about Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa, who owns a filling station in Kano, and is selling his fuel at 580 naira per litre. Posted that information on his Twitter, which is far less than the 620 and above that every other filling station around Kano was selling. And he said he did this because he felt like there was a lot of undue hardship on many Nigerians after the subsidy was removed from petrol, and he just chose to sell it as a way to help alleviate some of the hardship people are facing. Now, this is a very illustrious, altruistic move, and he's a well-decorated footballer. He's our most capped footballer in Nigeria. He also has played 108 matches, and he has scored several goals for Nigeria. He started playing from when he was 17. He's currently 30, and we like his move. He's also hoping to expand this particular filling station across Nigeria. I'm sure many people will be happy to hear that, and will be praying you come to their state soon. Moving to...
No, right.
Oh, sorry.
Residents are complaining about the spate of robbery on Lagos roads in the daytime as well as the nighttime. They said there was a recent one on Lawani Street off Ishaga, where armed robbers stole cash and property worth and a lot of property on the 18th of July. Now, apart from that, they're now reading in the afternoon, and Miriam and Dami have buttressed it by saying it has happened to them actually. So we have witnesses. Meanwhile, why I took this story is because the police are saying that their statistics do not reflect an increase in robbery, in any robbery. That, not to even talk of daytime, whether night or day, there's no increase, that people are not reporting to the police. But I have two witnesses here who say they reported, and what did the police say?
No, she didn't.
My staff hasn't reported yet. I spoke to our parents. They're going to report the case today. Yesterday, so they're going to...
I reported, and I was told, oh, that's how they do.
So I think it's important we also remind Nigerians to report.
You also said it.
Yes, I reported when I was robbed, and they said this thing happens often in that particular location. So, but we should always report. I'm sure most of the cases that happen to people, they don't report because they don't just have the stress of going to the police station to file a formal complaint. But please do so, because it will give the police
at least
real data.
The statistics. Yes, it has increased. So we need to tell the police when it happens to us.
Yeah. Moving on to the latest on major headlines. Tinubu talks tough over the coup in Niger Republic, and he meets with the Benin Republic president, insists ECOWAS won't tolerate anti-democratic acts. And in other news, Southeast insecurity, Senate seeks ECPA's extradition from Finland. Activities of the Kubo ECPA threat to Igbo nation, that's from Ohanese. Trafficking, 15,000 Nigerians trapped in Senegal, alleges NGO. President seeks more time to address labor grievances. NLC insists on Friday protest. APC vice president resigns over leadership crisis. And in other news, Nasarawa Guba, witnesses allege non-entry of PU results into Form EC8B. Only leaders with good intentions can deliver Nigeria from economic challenges. That's from Pastor Kumuyi. NCAA accuses Nigerian airlines of doctoring cockpit voice recorders after accidents. And Obaseki government, APC in hot exchange over state of federal roads in Edo State. No tuition fee increase for federal universities from the presidency. And what story are we starting with?
Okay, that was NCA. So the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has issued an all operators letter. And the letter dated July 24th, addressed to accountable executive directors of operations, chief pilots and safety managers, said that some airlines have consistently indulged in this unprofessional practice where they would doctor what has happened. They would doctor what they describe as the CVR, that's the cockpit voice recorder. So when incidents or accidents happen on a flight or in an airplane, you know the voices are recorded, but they said some airlines have done this consistently where they doctor it so that they can circumvent proper investigation. And it has come to the notice of the NCAA, and you know they're putting this over, you know, putting it out there. It says NCAA has noted that some airlines operators, flight crew members are in the practice of continuously overwriting the CVR information after an occurrence. Unfortunately, this unwholesome practice has recently been detected in the industry by the AOL. That's the and wishes to reiterate, you know, it talked about the different codes of why this should not be to be done. It says to preserve flight recorder records, flight recorders shall be deactivated upon completion of flight time following an accident or incident. The flight recorders shall not be reactivated before their disposition as determined in accordance with the accident incident regulations. That we will do this. We just don't care for human lives at all in Nigeria. We've just finished accusing them of knowingly, you know, we're talking about the adulterated aviation fuel recently, you know, with the airline. And then we're now talking of the fact that you're overwriting records that should be used for
such people should, their licenses should be suspended and they should be fined heavily. It's punitive measures. Quickly.
Yes, the federal, there's a headline that says federal varsities remain tuition-free, says presidency. Tinubu government to make education accessible to all. So the presidency has debunked rumors that the federal government had increased tuition fees in its universities across the country. And this is coming as a result of, you know, the news that were making the rounds that some federal universities like Unilag and University of Abuja had increased their tuition fees by 200%, 300%. And the presidency is reacting to this through the Director of Special Duties, Communication and Strategy, Mr. Dede Alake, that the charges or the increases that some of these schools have witnessed are discretionary charges like hostel fees and the likes, but not tuition fees.
Oh, so, okay. Yes, because I wanted to be sure. So I've gotten information that the prices have changed.
Exactly. So authorities of these universities even made this fact clear enough in explaining the rationale behind these news. But I guess, you know, we all like sensations, sensation news. So for avoidance of doubts, federal universities in Nigeria remain tuition-free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obaseki and the APC State Chairman, Colonel Imuse, at it, they are throwing shade to each other. You know, Obaseki had said
the roads
were federal government roads.
And they've been abandoned.
And they've been abandoned. He's saying that he's accusing Obaseki of exacerbating the issue at hand by not utilizing the huge funds allocated to him by the federal government in tackling the menace. He talks about the 16 billion that was refunded to the state and another 21 billion that was given to the Edo State, given to Edo State from the oil derivation. But Obaseki answered him quickly and said, don't go there. Don't even go there. That's your former governor left Edo State with a 160 billion naira debt. So don't go there. And they answered that
use the money to pay the debt.
So I won't go.
So yeah, we don't have time, but I also need to highlight the fact that that particular Benin Auchi and Benin Sapele road, which is in terrible state, the governor said he cannot fix it because it has been awarded. Yes. He said it has been awarded to contractors to repair, but they have not seen the result of that. And we are Nigerians. Let's help ourselves, please. Another story that I just didn't want us to miss was the fact that 15,000 Nigerians have been left stranded in Senegal. I know people are desperate to japa anyhow. It's a francophone country. An NGO is the one calling out and saying they need help to bring those 15,000 back.
What are they doing there?
They are trying to move to Europe. One way or the other. There was someone that posted a video that I've arrived because he landed in Europe. He has gotten to Europe finally. But many people die along the way. Please, as much as this place is tough for you, find a more safe means to relocate yourself. And I hope we get help.
Undocumented migrants.
They don't know.
I don't know, but
we have to go. I know. No, they are stuck there. That's it.
The carrier is a transit country, I guess.
We'll take a break right now. When we return, hot topic. That is hot. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.